primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and here's my guide to playing Finn at your local Shadows of the Galaxy pre-release for Star Wars Unlimited's trading card game. If this is your first time watching one of my pre-release videos, I want to start off by saying the goal here is to look at commons and uncommons that work well with these leaders and that fit with their abilities and their color aspects. There will be obviously some rares and legendaries that work really well with characters like Finn, but because you only get 6 packs in your pre-release kit, we really want to focus on cards that you have more chances of getting and that are really going to fill out your deck. There are also going to be some leaders that aren't going to be as strong in a limited format because they work well with cards from the set previous or maybe future sets. Let's go and take a look at Finn as a leader card and see what kind of cards are going to work with him and his abilities. Now, as a leader, Finn has the action where you can exhaust him to defeat a friendly upgrade on a unit. If you do, give a shield token to that unit. So a little restrictive here. You do have to lose something, and it has to be something you've given to a unit. Now, reminder, upgrades can be shields or experience tokens along with cards. So you're really going to be focusing on the experience tokens for the most part, because you're probably not trying to defeat a shield token to put another shield token on a unit. So let's focus on some of that and why that would be important. Now, to deploy Finn, you do have to have 5 or more resources in play, which means you can do this as early as turn 4. And when he's deployed, he's a 4/6 unit, and on attack, he has the same ability as before, just a different trigger. You still defeat a friendly upgrade on a unit, and if you do, give a shield token to that unit. So let's start off with a card that's really going to pair well with him right out of The Last Jedi. We see Rose Tico. So Rose Tico is an uncommon and a 4-cost 2/6 unit with shielded. So she enters play with a shield token on her, which is an upgrade. And on attack, you may defeat a shield token on a friendly unit, and if you do, give them 2 experience tokens to that unit. Here is your combo with this leader. Rose comes in with play with the shield, and she puts shields on units as she goes. On attack, she puts a shield on herself, and on attack, she can defeat shields to give a friendly unit, including herself, 2 experience tokens. So what you do here is you normally want to start off by giving Rose or other units experience tokens. Then use Finn's ability to get rid of one of those experience tokens and turn it into a shield. And then you attack with Rose to trade that one of those shield tokens into 2 more experience tokens. This is essentially doing a lot of math to build up your unit. You're using 2 cards to have your unit go up +2 experience, right? So there's some combinations here. There's ways you can spread this around. There's some chances that you can really get through your opponent's tactics this way, but it is just kind of a very simple combo we see here. It may not always work the way you want it to, but this is the way you can kind of see how this was intended to run, and you'll find other cards like it. So imagine a card like the next one, the Concord Dawn Interceptors. It's a Sentinel unit that gets +2 while defending. This is a good one. If you can put an experience token on this, turn it into a shield, then turn those that shield into 2 more experience tokens, you can get a lot of value out of this card. Sentinel units are really going to benefit from you having those multiple upgrades and making them stronger because your opponent has to swing into them, and if they're being upgraded, they may be able to deal a lot of damage back, or the shield's going to prevent them from taking any damage at all. For a unit like this that gets stronger when it's attacked, I would say it's a really good one to put into your deck. Next is Village Protectors. This is a unit that's a 3-cost with 2/2 that does have Sentinel and Shielded. So you can go ahead and use Rose Tico's ability, upgrade this into a 4/4, and if you need to time it right, put Finn in there, give the Village Protectors a shield. For the rest of the Vigilance aspect, we're going to look at Rivals Fall, one of the strongest events in the game so far in the common slot, because it has the ability of defeating any unit. Leader, non-leader, space unit, ground unit, 1/1s, 11/11s. This card will take care of it for you. And since we're focusing a lot here in the Vigilance, because that is what our leader is, I really am going to recommend playing a little bit more of the Mando package. So look at Follower of the Way. Here's a unit that's a 1/3, but if it's upgraded, it gets a +1/+1. Finding ways of giving your Mandalorians experience tokens is going to be pretty easy. That way you can turn them into shield tokens or turn shield tokens into experience tokens. Either way, again, you're doing a lot of math and your turns are going to go a little slow. But that's okay because you can really build a solid force here. Think of Finn a little bit more as like a slower Tarkin. Next is going to be Clan Ren Rescuer, a 2-drop Mandalorian trooper that's, when played, you can give an experience token to any unit, including himself. So again, a good way of turning things and building things up is just going to be playing units like this. In the command aspect, we're probably going to have a little bit more of the weaker cards to work with you, but here's some that I'd recommend. And the first one's going to be Outflank. You may be playing a little bit slow, so using Outflank to your advantage can be helpful because it allows you to attack with 2 units for 1 action. If those units have on-attack abilities, that would be best. That way you can get multiple triggers in 1 action before your opponent can even respond. Next is Adelphi Patrol Wing. Very similar to Outflank. This is all about cheating through the system here. Pay a 5-cost space unit. When you play it, it hits the board as a 4/6, and you may attack with a unit. If you have the initiative, it gets +2/+0 for this attack. So another good one that you can use to your advantage and time it well. And last is Sundari Peacekeeper, a 3-cost Mandalorian trooper with Raid 2 and Restore 2. This is great because I love cards with Restore 2 because that's a lot of healing in a 30 card or 25 in a 30 health or 25 health the game. So I really think the Restore 2 here on the Peacekeeper is pretty solid. You can bump this character up with experience tokens or shields. In the yellow package of Cunning, we're going to recommend Surprise Strike. Use this to your advantage. This is a reprint from Spark of Rebellion. If you've played Spark of Rebellion Constructed, then you know how strong Surprise Strike can be, really taking you, from a couple of points of damage to that double digits pretty quick. Next is going to be Jetpack, a decent upgrade that sits in the uncommon slot. When you play it, you give a shield token to a unit. So that's going to be pretty good. The shield token does go away at the end of the regroup phase. So a lot of times you're going to want to attack with that unit the same turn that you equip the jetpack. But with this leader, you don't have to do that. You do not have to attack with the unit because you have another thing you can do with the shield token itself. I'm sorry, well, not this leader, with Rose Tico, I should say. So you have ways of kind of manipulating it if you don't want to use the shield token on a unit you just played for. So. And last is L337. And the cutting aspect, this is a good one because when played, you may rescue a captured card, and if you don't, give a shield token to the unit. It's a 2/2 unit that costs 2, so putting a shield on there for Rose Tico, you can make that work, or you can always leave it in your resource pile for the smuggle mechanic in case you're playing anyone who is capturing a lot of cards. For the aggression aspect, I'm going to recommend Ketsu Ono, just really a great Mandalorian 2-drop here. It's a 3/2 with Saboteur, meaning it has the ability of evading sentinels and defeating shields. When this unit does deal combat damage to a base, you can defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less. This is great because it's going to get rid of your opponent's upgrades, whether they're bounties or shields or experience tokens. Next is the Clan Challengers, a 5-cost Mandalorian that's a 3/6, has Raid 3, meaning when it attacks, it's a 6/6, and if you can upgrade it, it gains Overwhelm. Since you do have ways of upgrading your Mandalorians and continuing to upgrade them with shields or experience tokens, it shouldn't be a problem to get this type of card going. It's also a common card, so if you go in the aggression aspect, you should see at least one of these, if not 3. Last is going to be Detention Block Rescue, a 3-cost event that deals 3 damage to any unit on the board, 6 if it happens to be capturing unit. It's no open fire, but it does get the job done in this limited format. Moving on to the hero aspect, I'll recommend the Wookiee Warrior. Just a solid 4-drop here. It's a 2/5 with grit, meaning the more damage it takes, the more damage it's going to deal. So at most, this card can become a 6/5 pretty easily once it has 4 points of damage. And if you control another Wookiee when you play it, draw a card. After that is the Gray Squadron Y-Wing. Finally, seeing the Y-Wing in the game is definitely a pleasantry to me. It's a 2-cost unit that's a 1/3 space unit, and on attack, opponent chooses a unit or base they control, and you get to deal 2 damage to it. I like this. I love things that make your opponent make choices. I like that the damage gets kind of spread this way. I like that it's on attack. It's really fitting, and I think the art is solid. Next is Protector of the Throne, a 3-cost unit that's a 2/4. Once you upgrade it, though, it does have Sentinel. So again, focusing on Mandalorians and upgrades, you're going to see a lot of benefit and synergy here. And we can move on to the non-aspect cards. Rich Reward is a good one because it has the ability of giving your up to 2 units experience tokens once you defeat the unit that you put the bounty on. After that, you can play something like the Mandalorian Warrior. When played, you give an experience token to another Mandalorian unit. A 3 cost for 3/3 is always pretty solid, and I really like the art here. Just the Mando walking down a hallway, just, lighting everything on fire. And last is Twin Pod Cloud Car, a staple, I would say, in the sealed format because it's a 3-cost space unit that's a 2/2 with Restore 2. That Restore 2 is really going to add up over time. If your opponents do not deal with your space lane, they're really going to regret it after Twin Pod Cloud Car has healed you anywhere between 8 to 10 points of damage, while also doing that much damage. So this is my guide to playing Finn at your local pre-release event. I wish you luck, and hopefully everything goes well for you in your future sealed events as well. Let me know in the comments below if you end up playing Finn because you liked him or just ended up having the cards or the package to run him. What rares or legendaries really worked for you. Good luck again, and may the Force be with you.